Bienvenidos todos ustedes a este canal, Diego en la Lucha. Cada vez más personalidades del mundo, no solo político, sino intelectual, se pronuncian sobre la OTAN. Haberse metido con Rusia ha sido el mayor error estratégico de la historia de Estados Unidos, escribe en un reciente artículo el intelectual Augusto Zamora, profesor de Derecho Internacional Público y Relaciones Internacionales de la Universidad Autónoma de Madrid. Esta información, que fue divulgada en el canal Telegram Nuestra América, continúa de la siguiente manera. Rusia no solo no ha sido derrotada, sino que ha salido fortalecida. La guerra contra la OTAN la ha obligado a rehacer su ejército, su economía, su industria y su desarrollo científico y técnico, de forma que al día de hoy Rusia es 2, 3 o 4 veces más poderosa que hace 2 años. La guerra de la OTAN ha convertido su alianza con China en un imperativo, al tiempo que la fortaleza que está demostrando Rusia ha terminado de convencer a China de que Rusia es un aliado más que necesario, indispensable. Ahora Estados Unidos está en la que está siendo derrotado en Ucrania y su guerra por delegación ha hecho del ruso el mejor ejército del mundo, sostiene Zamora, y añade que lo peor para Estados Unidos es que ya no puede salir de su trampa. Rusia ha dicho que solo negociará la paz en Ucrania según sus condiciones. India ha reafirmado su alianza con Rusia. Irán ha ingresado en la Organización de Cooperación de Shanghái y está integrando su economía en la de la Unión Económica Euroasiática, promovida por Rusia. Corea del Norte se quiere amarrar a este club. Arabia Saudita se ha vuelto díscola y se alía con Rusia para imponer los precios del petróleo. Egipto rehusó enviar armamento a Ucrania y tiene a Rusia construyendo una planta nuclear. Como ven, el análisis del experto es muy preciso y se podría agregar que si nos vamos a Latinoamérica, por un lado tenemos a Brasil, comandado por Lula da Silva, que forma parte de los BRICS y es una de las economías emergentes más importantes del mundo, y también tenemos a Venezuela, principal reserva de petróleo del mundo, con muy buenos lazos con el bloque asiático. La deuda de Estados Unidos sigue creciendo y ya no puede imponer su voluntad de la misma manera que antes a los países que producen petróleo. La cosa no se ve bien en un futuro, considerando que el 25% de la energía mundial es consumida solo por Estados Unidos. A su vez, lo que sucede en Gaza ha generado una indignación sin precedentes contra un socio estratégico de los estadounidenses en la región como lo es Israel, e inevitablemente esto arrastra al gobierno de Joe Biden a un lugar muy incómodo. Dado que los análisis e información que les brindo a través de este canal son contrahegemónicos, no sé cuánto tiempo más duraré por este medio, así que los espero en mi canal Telegram, Diego en la Lucha. Allí no hay censura y pongo todo por más fuerte que sea. Continuemos. Una cachetada de argumentos da la ministra de Relaciones Internacionales y Cooperación de Sudáfrica, Naledi Pandor, ante el cuestionamiento de su posicionamiento ante las noticias falsas.
Did I hear you correctly saying that the atrocities that we are speaking about, the beheading of children, that those are fake news, that it's not true? Is that the position of the South African government? I want to ask you now.
No, it is evidence that has been provided by a range of non-governmental organizations, both in Israel and Palestine, because we don't only speak to Palestinians, we speak to peace-loving Israelis as well. And we know that there's a lot of fake news that attempts to cast Palestinians in a bad light. And it has been admitted, even from the White House spokesperson, that that statement that was made at the highest level was actually proven not to be factual. So, Honourable Member, I've responded to your question. And it's important, as I said at the start of my contribution, that when we speak on these matters, let us speak being honest and factual. The facts are the people of Palestine are denied the right to exist as human beings. They're denied the right to enjoy the freedoms and the rights we so love as South Africans. The rights and freedoms we fought so hard for. The rights and freedoms we united on as a diverse South African people. Today, some of us in this house believe these rights belong to some and not to others. That is not the South African way. We believe all human beings enjoy the right to exist in freedom, enjoying justice and humanity.
Esto es imperdible. Hay una persona que cada vez que habla hace que se me erice la piel, porque lo que vivió su familia durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial ha sido terrible, lo que a su vez le da más autoridad a la hora de expresar sus ideas. Y con esto me refiero al profesor judío Norman Finkelstein, que habla de cómo piensa que hubieran reaccionado sus padres a lo que sucede en Gaza. No se lo pierdan.
You are the son of two people who survived the Holocaust, who were both in concentration camps. You're a Jewish man, and you know how incendiary that Substack has proven to be with Jewish people around the world, many of whom have felt this is the nearest thing to the Holocaust of World War II that they've endured. What your parents went through, being revisited on them in these kibbutzes on October the 7th. What do you feel about them? I mean, how would your parents have felt about you literally on the day that this happened, talking about heroic resistance, talking about that you will never begrudge the scenes, that the stars in heaven are looking kindly down, glory, glory, the souls of Gaza go marching on. How would your parents have felt about that, coming out of concentration camps, surviving the Holocaust of World War II?
Well, first of all, anything I write, I have my parents looking at the screen behind me over my shoulders, in a metaphorical sense. I am very conscious every moment of my existence goes back to the martyrdom of my family. So, it's not as if suddenly you're posing a question to me that never occurred to me. Quite the contrary, I do need, even 30 years after their death, I need the moral validation that came from my parents' martyrdom and the extermination of their family. How would my parents have reacted? My guess is if on the first day they heard that inmates in a concentration camp burst its gates, I think my parents would be very pleased at that fact. As the events became clearer, my guess, but this is pure speculation, my guess is my parents would go out with their hearts, would go out to those who burst the gates of the concentration camp and whose lives were destroyed. Now you will say to me, completely legitimately, you would say, well, what would your parents feel about the innocents who were slaughtered in the atrocities on that date? So I'm going to give you as close an answer as I could give, as I'm able to. I once asked my late mother, I said to her, what was your feeling when you heard that the German cities were being terror bombed during World War II? The carpet bombing of the German cities targeting civilians. What was your feeling? And my mother's response to me was, quote, our feeling was, if we're going to die, we're going to take some of them with us. Now that's not the most morally elevated statement. I agree. And do I wish my mother had and my father had a heightened sensitivity to German civilian life? I suppose I would wish it. But I will tell you, Piers, to the last day of my parents' life, it was unthinkable that they would have a kind word to say about Germans. And it was unthinkable that I would ever quarrel with them on that point.
Okay.
I accepted that given their life experience, they had the right to hate the people who destroyed their lives.
Okay.
And the people
Professor
of
Finkelstein.
Gaza have the right to hate the people who destroyed their lives.
Professor Finkelstein.
El propio mandatario español, Pedro Sánchez, hizo declaraciones que no fueron para nada bien tomadas por Israel.
el derecho de Israel a defenderse, pero ojo, debe hacerlo dentro de los parámetros y limitaciones impuestos por el derecho humanitario internacional. Y este no es el caso. La matanza indiscriminada de civiles inocentes, incluyendo miles de niños y niñas, es totalmente inaceptable. La violencia solo conducirá a más violencia. Tenemos que sustituir la violencia por esperanza, por paz. Y esto es precisamente algo que le trasladé ayer al presidente Herzog y al primer ministro Netanyahu.
El propio Benjamín Netanyahu salió al cruce de estas declaraciones.
They say everyone is a target. These girls in a music festival, these women, they're targets. Babies, they're targets. Old people, they're targets. Holocaust survivors, they're targets. Everyone is a combatant. Everyone. And they're deliberately not only target everyone, every citizen, no one is a civilian, no one is exempt from their murder, from their horror. They also hide behind their civilians. They deliberately implant themselves in hospitals, in schools, in residential areas, in UN facilities. They fire their rockets from there. Thousands of them. There is no symmetry here. These people target directly our cities all the time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of rockets falling on Barcelona, falling on Madrid, falling on Brussels, falling on Antwerp, or any one of the European cities. Thousands.
Como siempre dijimos en este canal, el nuevo orden mundial multipolar es inevitable, pero en el medio tenemos a las élites occidentales que intentarán por todos los medios habidos y por haber de que el poder no se les siga escapando de las manos. La pregunta clave acá es si serán capaces o no de utilizar armamento nuclear, lo cual sería el fin para todos nosotros. ¿Vos qué pensás? ¿Estamos cerca de un escenario tan desolador? Leo tus comentarios, te pido que te suscribas a mi canal, actives la campana de notificaciones en la opción todas, le des pulgar arriba y compartas. Muchas gracias.